And so when we were growing up, yeah, it was when I went to college, it was Japan is number one, Ezra Vogel's book, and Japan was going to conquer the world. Everybody wanted to learn Japanese. And then things changed. And what changed was this so-called asset bubble that was created during the late 1980s burst. Essentially, reality and gravity set in. And so what transpired after that was, as you mentioned, maybe not 20 years longer than that, maybe 25 plus years of economic stagnation, deflation, which to me, deflation, when prices and wages and assets fall in value, that is like poison. Because if you're a rational consumer, and this was me, my kids would say, Mommy, buy this for me. And I said, no, we're going to come back in a month, and it guarantee it'll be cheaper.
Right.
And you go back another month, and they say, nope, I guarantee it'll be cheaper. We wait another month. And this continues. And same thing from a business perspective. I want to build a factory. But no, I know that the materials and the equipment for that factory will be cheaper if I wait until next year, right? So it's this really dire situation for any economy.
Death spiral.
Death spiral. And so I think what that did was really caused companies and individuals to hunker down, turn inward, right? We don't need to go abroad. We don't need to learn that much English. We should stay home and work in a safe environment. And for example, a lot of, I think, young people coming out of school during this period, their desire was not to work at a startup. It was, I need to get a job at a well-known blue chip company so that my parents are proud of and bragging safe. About me at the cocktail reception. Right?
And safe.
And safe, right? Secure. Job security was number one. So what has changed? I think what's changed is, good news is, since the economy began to turn the corner, deflation turned into inflation, wages started to rise rather than fall. That, and on top of all this, unlike many other countries, Japan has a very, very small and shrinking workforce. So for young people today, it's a seller's market, right? They have so many opportunities in front of them. So what's happened is, now you're in a situation where the economic environment is actually pretty good. And if you're a decent young person, meaning, you're smart and you're talented, yes, you could work at that blue chip, trading company or bank, but you also could take a little bit of risk and work at a startup.
Why do entrepreneurs, when they come here, fall in love with it and they come back? And there's almost a joke in America that when somebody comes back from Japan, they will not stop talking about Japan, and it becomes very annoying for the people who've been to Japan, because they're like, I've been going for 20 years, and yes, I know all about it. But what is your perception of why this incredible relationship between our two nations is so strong, and why we look at Japan and we just say, wow?
Well, being an American from rural California, and I have lived here. My parents are Japanese immigrants from Japan to California. They are farmers. My family still has a farm. We have the largest orchid nursery in the United States. We
Whereabouts?
produce about Salinas Valley.
Of course.
John Steinbeck country.
Yeah.
And I believe our share as a nursery is about 20% of the U.S. orchid market. So it's a decent-sized business. But having come here after essentially graduate school and lived here since, and I married my German husband. We met here. I have 2 children who were born and raised here. So I don't have a lot of real, actual lived experience as an adult or post, student life in America, but I traveled there a lot with Goldman because I had to do a lot of visits to see clients in America. But I will say this, as a measure of, let's say, quality of life, this country is very hard to beat, and I think most of my Japanese colleagues here will agree to that if you've ever lived outside of Japan. And whether it's, I think, particularly as a parent, our kids are riding the subways alone at night.
6
I never had to
years old.
shuttle them around like a bus driver, like all my friends in America had to do with their children, always worried about where they are, at whatever hours of the day. The air, the public transportation. I don't drive in Japan. I've been driving in California since I was 15. I don't actually have a Japanese license because I don't need one. The public transportation is top notch, and I can get anywhere, going to skiing. You can send all your equipment, as you know, in advance, and then you get on the train or you get on the plane. It's super, super smooth. The food, more Michelin-starred restaurants than any place else on the planet. I mean, and frankly, there are restaurants who refuse the star because they don't want people who are not their clientele to take up seats, right? Yeah. So it's just a really unique oasis. Obviously, it's quite peaceful. Of course, Japan is surrounded by a lot of geopolitical vulnerability, and so that relationship you asked about with the United States is uber important, right? And so this critical security alliance between the two nations is of utmost importance. And of course, it's not lost on any Japanese individual that that security umbrella that is provided by the United States is crucial, right? And so I think that is sort of one of the linchpins in driving this alliance, going forward.
Launching a startup takes vision, but also countless legal and financial decisions that can quickly become overwhelming. Even the most dedicated and hardworking founder, they're going to spend most of their time focused on building their team and improving their product, not worrying about paperwork and talking to a bank. That's why busy founders need Every, the all-in-one back office built from the ground up with startups in mind. Every has helped to grow more than 1,000 companies already, so they can help your startup navigate whatever lies ahead. And they're going to start helping you save money right away by giving you 3% cash back on every dollar you spend on your Every company cards. And when it's time to incorporate, they'll walk you through the entire process without extra fees or pointless delays. So for all of your incorporation, banking, payroll, benefits, accounting, taxes, and other back office administrative needs, visit every.io. That's EVERY.io.